Welcome to a very interesting point right now at the European Parliament. How are we going to see the fulfillment of the goals the European Union has set for itself when it comes to climate changes? Is there a fight going on between the Commissioner for Climate and the Commissioner for Energy? I asked that question to the chairman of the Environmental Committee at the European Parliament, Matthias Grode. What's going on?
What is going on? Last week we adopted in the Parliament a common position between the Industry Committee and the Environment Committee that we want for 2030 40% CO2 reduction, 40% energy efficiency goal, and I'm a little bit sad about it, only 30% renewable goal for 2030. But we fixed 3 targets, and I think it's very important that we have 3 targets: investment safety for industry, for all stakeholders. But, I must say, in the Commission there's a real internal fight. Mr. Barroso, he wants to include CCS and also shale gas in the new proposal for 2030, and this is a gift to the Cameron government. Nobody knows really what his intention is, that he puts these things into the climate.
And do you have some kind of influence on that? I mean, can you change this attitude from the Commission?
In the end of the day, the Commission can propose what they want. It's one institution. The legislative institution is the European Parliament and the European Council. And in the end of the day, we set the targets, because there's a rule here in the Parliament. No draft of legislation left the Parliament as it comes in. And this
that sounds encouraging. But another concrete thing happened during this session here in January in Strasbourg. You adopted something about plastic. Could you please reveal what it was?
Yes. We prepared an initiative report. Our colleague Vittorio Prodi, he was the rapporteur, and we have a plastic problem worldwide, but also in the European Union. We have 25 million tons each year of plastic waste in the European Union. For example, plastic bags. We are using each of us in the European Union 200 plastic bags, and we are throwing it away
a year.
And we want that these plastic bags are from a material which is not so pollutant and not so poison for the oceans and other things.
There is in Africa a country which has abandoned plastic totally. You are not allowed to enter that country with anything like plastic. Could that be an example for the European Union?
Yeah, it could be an example. For many things we need plastic because it's cheap, it's a really interesting resource because you can build everything from it. But where we have substitutes, we should use the substitutes. And we have to declare that plastic for one-way use is the wrong way. We need higher recycling quotes, we need bioplastic. I don't really like the word, but it's not so poison as the plastic. This is our task we have to do.
You've been busy this week. There's also been something about small vans, reduction of emissions.
But also CCS, I must say.
And that you have to explain.
CCS, it means carbon capture and storage. And this is a technology, it's in practice in the oil industry since years. But it's very inefficient, because the idea from some colleagues is to capture the carbon at the energy plant and to store it in the Northern Sea and for every time. And we have alternatives. We have renewable energy, we have high efficient gas plants. For the energy intensive industry, it could be a solution. But I don't want to spend European money for this inefficient technology. I voted completely against the proposal, but here was a majority for the proposal, and I must say it's really the wrong way and the wrong direction.
And just to finish this, about this emission from the small vans, does it really matter, that reduction which you have accepted now?
Yeah, in 2010, was it 2010? 2010, we adopted this legislation for small vans, and we agreed on a target for 2020 on 147 grams. It's really for these vans, like commercial vehicles, an ambitious target. And I must say I'm really happy that we fixed the target, and now it's clear for the manufacturers, for customers, that the fuel consumption is going down and also the CO2 emissions
But
are going
isn't it rather a psychological statement?
No, it's really ambitious, I must say. Okay, the Commission proposed 135 grams, but in the end of the day, you need a compromise, and
As usual.
as usual, business as usual. But it's really an ambitious target we adopted, and I'm really happy about this new legislation.